Hello everyone. We're going to take a look at this ThatQuiz assignment. So this is for week 3. We're talking about rational and irrational numbers. You're going to find your name in the drop down and then you're going to type in the password GCVS. This is the password every time. It's all lowercase. Whenever we're using ThatQuiz, our password is all lowercase GCVS, and then you can hit OK. Now, as we're going through this, we're going to be dragging and dropping and labeling and classifying each of these different numbers. So let's start with the first one. We have a square root of 3. And maybe you want to open up your calculator just to have it ready. 3 is not a perfect square. This is going to give us a really messy decimal, so we know that this is our irrational. Now the other 3 it says are rational, but now we're classifying them as integer, just rational, or a whole number. So whole numbers are 0 and positive integers. So an option that we have here for a whole number is this number 7. That is a positive integer. And -6 is an integer. So integers are rational numbers that are all whole numbers, but also we include negative numbers as an integer. So -6 is rational and an integer, which means 2/5 is just rational. It can be written as a ratio, but it's not an integer or a whole number. And when you're all set, you can hit OK. Remember, at any point, pause the video, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Classifying these numbers here, we have 3 options that are rational and 1 that is irrational. So the only option here that we see for irrational is this square root of 41. It is not a perfect square. It's going to get us this really messy decimal. -13, 1/7, and 7.0. Our rational number only is 1/7. -13 is an integer, and then 7 is a positive integer, so it is a whole number. Beautiful. And then when you're all set, hit OK. Same thing as we're working through this. We have irrational, rational, integer, and whole, and we're categorizing these 4 numbers here. So I'll give you a second to try this one on your own, and then you can check your answer. We have 0 here, which is certainly a whole number. I can tell that our root 7 is the irrational one. It is not a perfect square. 13/2 is rational. And -99 is rational and an integer. So we're plugging those 4 in. Pause if you need, and then hit OK when you're ready. Doing some sorting again here for this one. I'll just give you all a second to try and sort it on your own, and then check your answers. There's only one irrational number here. That's always a great place to start. And this is going to be the square root of 5. That is not a perfect square. It is irrational. 0 is a whole number. 3/2 is rational. And -7 is a rational integer. Beautiful. Go ahead and hit OK when you're ready. Classify the quantity here, and we're going to want to do some simplifying before we classify. So we see the square root of 36, which means what number multiplied by itself gets us 36? And that is 6. So really what we have here is 6 minus 8. A smaller number minus a bigger number is going to give us a negative integer, -2, which is rational. So we're noticing that when we simplify, we get -2, and that is a rational answer, and then hit OK. I'm going to erase my screen here. So we have the number 2, and we're multiplying it by pi. So we have this rational integer of 2, and we're multiplying it by this irrational number pi. So this is going to equal an irrational product. We could text that out in the calculator too. 2 times pi gets us this big decimal with no repeated pattern, and it doesn't stop, so that is certainly irrational. This next one is 8 divided by 11. There's no simplifying to be done here. We have a rational, we have an integer divided by an integer, which, yeah, can be written as a ratio or a fraction, literally as 8 divided by 11, and so this is rational. If we put it in the calculator, just to check, we will get a decimal, but notice there's a pattern. It goes 0.72, 72, 72, 72, and we can hit this fraction button, and it writes it as a fraction, telling us it is a rational number. Beautiful. A couple more here. Square root of 40 plus 8. So the square root of 40 is irrational, and we're adding a rational integer. Just as a reminder, we could simplify the square root of 40, right, as the square root of, wait, can we? Oh, 4 times the square root of 10, which would give us 2 square roots of 10. Still irrational. So even if we simplify that, we still have 2 root 10 plus 8. So our sum here is still going to be irrational. Just wanted to do a little practice reminder of how we simplify those roots. I know we worked on that a lot last week. Okay. I think we got maybe 3 more here. So we have the square root of 16 divided by the square root of 9. Well, the square root of 16 is 4, right? Because 4 times 4 equals 16. The square root of 9 is 3. So this is really just 4/3, which can be written as a fraction as 4 over 3, or a ratio. So this is rational. If you typed this into the calculator, square root of 16 divided by square root of 9, here we have 1.33333 repeating, so that's okay. And here's our fraction button. It's just the same as 4/3. Beautiful. Alrighty, pi minus 3/4. This is our last one. So we have this irrational pi, and we're subtracting a rational 3/4. Irrational minus irrational, this is going to get us an irrational difference. If we typed it into our calculator, pi minus 3/4, we end up with this messy decimal with no pattern. Notice there's no fraction button that pops up because we can't make it a fraction. It cannot be written as a ratio. So this is irrational. And then make sure you click finish when you're done. And whenever you finish an assignment, make sure you're always going back and submitting into Schoology so I can give you credit for your work. Okay? Beautiful job. Y'all rocked that. Hey, this is kind of a short video today, so that's cool. I hope that y'all are enjoying your week. And as always, reach out to me with any questions, okay? Take care, friends. Bye.